Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today we have Paul Spencer, the Director of Channel Partner Sales for T-Mobile. Paul has spent the last 4 years with T-Mobile supporting the indirect sales channel. Prior to that, he had like a full career as a financial advisor. Anyway, Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Right on, right on. Well, talk a little bit about T-Mobile. Who is T-Mobile today after the merger with Sprint?
Yes, that's a great question. T-Mobile today is very much like we used to be, which is we're the uncarrier. So we do things that are different out there. The Sprint acquisition brought us massive network capacity along with a huge customer base that's allowed us to continue to accelerate our growth that we've had for the last 7, 8, 9 years in the industry.
That's great. That's great. I had a lot of friends over at Verizon, and I was going to say tickled pink, but that's kind of a bad pun with with T-Mobile. But they tickle magenta. Right on. Right on. Well, some people may be wondering why I'm interviewing someone from T-Mobile. I mean, T-Mobile's not normally known in the channel. Does this mean that T-Mobile is now focusing on the indirect channel?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's been a big focus of ours since merger is we've done a lot of things in the channel. We've brought a lot more resources to the channel just in terms of human capital that we have. We're redesigning the entire program that we have that will release a bunch of different things that are going to come out here in short order. My boss, Pat Watkins, spent a lot of time working through a lot of the strategy that we announced at Channel Partners last week, a couple of key elements that are part of that. But T-Mobile is absolutely open for business when it comes to the channel.
Yeah, you guys were big on the Channel Partners, conference, online conference last week. That was really cool to see that. And 5G. I mean, that's the cutting edge of what's going on in the indirect channel, and you guys definitely are leading the way with that. What kind of sales partners are you looking for in the indirect channel? What's the profile of the sales partner that you're looking for?
Yeah, so I would say anybody who is looking to come work with an uncarrier, a different approach that is out there. And it's kind of been a cliche of ours. Yeah, it's a marketing slogan and it's been a very consumer friendly tagline that's worked for us for years. But man, we have the network to back it up. We've got the resources to back it up. So when I look at that, I go, if you're a partner that's out there, why wouldn't you want to work with T-Mobile? Our capacity that we have across the 5G spectrum and what the future of wireless is going to be is unprecedented. We have double the capacity of Verizon. We've got almost double the capacity of AT&T. And the key for me, Steve, is where we have that capacity. As you know, there's 3 different kind of bands or tiers of capacity you want to have. There's the high band stuff that's going to be super, super fast. We've got our share there. There's the mid band that is really like the sweet spot of network. And that's where we have more share than anybody else. That's where we have the double share of Verizon and AT&T. And then the low band, which is going to get you huge coverage, we have a huge deployment there. In fact, we're already deployed across 2,400 cities across the United States. That is far, far more than anybody else. That is way more than AT&T and Verizon when it comes to working with us. So if I'm a partner out there and I want to go capitalize on the 5G network and what's going to come of 5G and what the infrastructure and e-commerce is going to look like, I'd be looking to talk to T-Mobile.
So what I hear you saying is, if this was a foot race and you were running around the track, you have lapped Verizon and AT&T with the footprint there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Paul, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show, and that there are millions and millions of people watching this right now. And I always end the show with a little known fact. So tell the viewers a fun or interesting fact about yourself.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a couple things. Number one is you can probably see over my left-hand shoulder. I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm a diehard Minnesota anything fan, but in particular, a diehard Minnesota Twins fan. But I'm stuck here in Chicago in a good way. I have a huge affinity for Chicago. It's where my family and I moved to 4 years ago when I came back to working for T-Mobile. We live about 30 miles from Michigan Avenue. So if you're familiar with Chicago, Michigan Avenue is where you want to go to do all of your shopping. But somehow we've got this hobby farm where we literally live on about 6 acres out here outside of Chicago. And we've got a smattering, I would say, of about 16 different animals, from horses to goats to sheep and all sorts of crazy things that happen at the farm here every day. So my wife and I and our 3 kids, while I'm not doing telecom, we're I don't know if I want to say raising farm animals, because they just kind of do their own thing on the back. But that's probably not your usual telecom guy. Is the guy who comes home and has farm stuff going on every day.
Well, if it rains a lot there, you're going to have to build an ark.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
That is fast.
Two of everything we have at least two of. So
That's great. Well, Paul, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
absolutely, Chief. I love talking to you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.